Hello, everyone. I hope things are going well for you out there. I know it's a bit of a late stream, but that's okay. It just adds to the factor of our normal topics that we talk about here. I'm joined here by the lovely AzurineFoxglove. Hello, Azzy.
Good evening, horror fans. How is everyone today? We got an exciting night tonight.
I've definitely been excited for this, and since Azzy messaged me about it, about coming back from Georgia, I was really excited to see to discuss the creepy and chills with her once again. It's always fun doing these.
Oh yes, they are a ton of fun, and there's like endless topics to talk about. And I know I keep bringing this up like every episode, but like there's so much to talk about when it comes to horror. You can't cover everything in just one episode. Which leads us to the topic of today. Oh goodness, I just noticed the title says haunted places. I thought we were doing cryptids. I'm
I
sorry.
forget. No,
Did I
I
mess
actually.
up?
No, no. I'm my bad. I thought I changed the title, but I guess. I
Oh,
guess
whoops.
YouTube had another. I guess YouTube had other ideas. There we go. Jesus
There we go. Okay. No,
Christ.
it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We'll retcon it. We'll write it out in post. But yes, today's episode is covering cryptids, and oh goodness, where do we start?
God, there's so many places you could go with cryptids.
Like, where did they actually like start? When did sightings of cryptids start? Are we going all the way back to like sirens and mermaids, or are we talking like closer to more modern, I guess, for lack of a better term, romanticized cryptids of like nowadays?
I want to
Would
say that there's chances that these things have been cited since the dawn of time, or something along those lines.
that sounds about right. There
And
was
it
a
just
book that I read. It was called The United States of Cryptids. It was about a guy. This guy's name's J.W. Ocker. That's the author's name. He's gone all over the states and has documented the most famous cryptid of literally every state.
really no. I don't know if I've heard of this person yet.
Uh, I don't know if I found the book randomly in a library one time, and being a lover of all things cryptids, and my first one was Mothman. Um, kind of I don't know if Maury is in the chat right now, but Maury knows this. He's known that my first cryptid was Mothman. I have been obsessed with Mothman since I was a kid. I had a mythology class, and we were doing a segment on like mythological creatures, and I chose to do a cryptid for my particular project, and I did Mothman, and that was what segued into my introduction to creepypasta. Last year, I got a plushie from Spencer's. It's literally just a little Mothman.
You know what you do when you got to see the Mothman statue. You got to stick a quarter between his butt cheeks. I didn't make that up, by
Oh
the way.
yeah, oh yeah. Tell me why they gave that statue cake though. Like why? Was
Why
that
is
necessary?
he caked up?
On a Thursday afternoon? Why?
My man
Hey.
is cheeked the fuck up, and I don't understand why he is. He is
Like it feels like such an
beyond.
unnecessary detail. Like come on.
Huh?
See, because now I gotta know. I gotta find a way to get a sighting of the Mothman. I have to know. I have to find out. Is he a washboard or is he absolutely caked up on a Thursday afternoon?
I need to know if he's actually as caked as the statue is. Look, full disclosure, I'd fuck a cryptid.
Oh, absolutely. Hello, my obsession with Mothman goes deeper than,
just caked up for me.
fascinations.
Hey, shit!
Bless
Bless
you.
you. Going off of that topic immediately before this stream becomes very quickly 18 plus.
Oh boy, there's witch in chat with Owa.
Oh no. There was one particular cryptid that I read about in this book. I believe it was called the silverfish. Oh no, no, maybe I'm wrong. Silver serpent. That's right. And I believe this one in particular. Oh goodness, I just looked up silver serpent cryptography and it literally it just showed me crypto. I said cryptography, not cryptocurrency.
Oh no! Oh no! 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 No!
I'm not. No, please, please, please. Okay, Silver Lake serpent. That's the one. Okay, so the Silver Lake serpent. It's a New York cryptid. It's right up in GK and Rock's territory. According to the fisherman who saw it, it's apparently this big serpent with glowing red eyes as big as dinner plates. And the first sighting was apparently 1855. 4 men and 2 boys were in a fishing boat when they saw what looked like a log. They didn't pay too much attention to it because they thought it was just a big log. And then it appeared in another position and started hissing at them. They tried to cut the anchor loose, but the knife just dropped and they were just stuck there. They were trying to mess with the oars. They were trying to bring up the anchor. They were trying to do anything. But this thing just kept coming for them. And they made it to an inn, like, shocked, and just spread the story around. It's been described as a big, just reptile with silver scales that reflect the light of the moon. And that's a direct quote. Hence the name. They called it the Silver Lake Serpent ever since then. And apparently, the townsfolk in Silver Lake, they've kind of like immortalized it, and have kind of made it like a tourist trap thing, like Bigfoot.
A little. It was clear, so there's nothing really there.
I always remember hearing stories about my dad is like a really firm believer in cryptids, especially
me too.
Bigfoot.
Oh yeah.
And it would not be surprised if my father would have witnessed Bigfoot. I feel like a lot of people act like he's not real or he's elusive, and there's probably a good damn reason he's elusive. I mean, think about it. You're trying to live your fucking life, and all these people are out here like trying to photograph you, and trying to find you and catch you, and it's like, leave the man alone, man.
Man, come on.
I'd be the same damn way. You kidding me?
I'd be, honestly, if people kept trying to do that, I'd be more aggressive. Just like, fine, they want me to be a fucking monster? Alright, 3 dead bodies in the woods right now. How about that?
3 dead bodies in the woods. 3 more points to Gryffindor.
Oh my god, have you heard about Pressy?
No, I can't say I have.
Pressy is apparently a lake monster that lives in Lake Superior. It's kind of like the Loch Ness Monster. But, I don't know, they just call it Pressy.
I think I've heard stories about that.
Yep, 1897 in Duluth, Minnesota, a man fell overboard on his yacht after hitting a rock.
Oh.
And he claimed that a creature attacked and attempted to constrict him.
That's definitely terrifying.
Yup.
Like it's shit like this that people like. Also, Witch said I had some friends that were from Buffalo. They've definitely heard of this one before.
Oh, the Silver Lake one, yeah.
I think about like stuff like that. The one that really gets me is like people say, "Oh, these aren't real." There have been way too many. It's like ghosts. They've been way too many sightings for this to be not real.
That's what I'm saying. Because there's been so many
Unless
of
there's
them,
like one just giant elaborate prank.
that's way too elaborate. It'd be way too elaborate.
We always, me and some friends always joke. I've got a friend who lives from the Appalachia, who's also from
Mhm.
Appalachia in Virginia. We always joke that his uncle's Mothman, which still to this day would not surprise me.
Oh man. I don't know why, but I have like an attunement or an affinity for water-based cryptids, and then just Mothman's just kind of there. Like
Water-based cryptids interest me, like
Devil's
really,
Lake
really interest
Monster.
me.
Devil's Lake Monster is one of my favorite ones. Devil's Lake Monster is kind of similar to, I want to say a kraken, but that doesn't sound right. It's a creature with tentacles and a big old head. It's like a kraken.
It sounds like kind of close to a kraken.
It kind of is, but it's located in Lincoln City, Oregon. So like it's literally just south of me. Apparently it's a Tillamook Indian legend instead of like, a pirate's tale.
Really?
Yeah.
All I know is there's one that we do not talk about, and I think you know exactly what I'm referencing there.
Yes, I do. And it's kind of unfortunate we can't talk about it, but I know why.
Yeah, I know why, but the whole thing behind them interests me. And
It sucks
I've
because
had
they
to
are so
interact with them
fascinating.
as a kitsune, as a supernatural creature myself. I've had to interact with creatures like that on a daily basis.
I've run into a
It's
couple of them. They're not as bad as some other tales that I've heard. I've heard stories of a creature called a false hydra. It sounds very unpleasant, and I don't think I ever want to meet one.
yeah, you got me there. I have zero interest in trying to find those. I've met some cryptids, not the ones that we can't, not exactly the ones we can't talk about, but I've met some common cryptids in the woods, and it's some of them I have had an attempt to try to frighten me, but it's kind of hard to frighten someone then in their actual final look has 6 eyes.
Yeah, that'll do it. I think the closest thing that I've gotten to that was a Wendigo. And that was a long time ago. And it was just kind of it didn't really bother me as much. It tried replicating a voice that I'd heard but I don't recognize. If that makes sense. Like it itched a part of my brain that I can't remember.
I think I know what you're talking about.
I
As a
still can't
D&D
remember that
player,
voice.
Lexmasu says, as a D&D player, have had to slay a surprising number of creatures like that. Not fun. Pay was good though. Well, that's good.
Yeah, that's usually the consensus that I get out of a lot of the people that I talk to in the taverns. They like to share their stories, especially if you put enough ale in them. They say loose lips sink ships, but I think loose lips just exaggerate tales.
I feel like loose lips, sometimes it helps get the word out a bit more.
Oh, that's fair. And some of these cryptids I can kind of chalk up to being just drunken ramblings. But some of them, like a couple of them, if there's like one or two sightings, it's like, oh, okay, he's just drunk again. But if it's like multiple sober people who don't have a history of like just spouting off nonsense, then I'm more inclined to believe them. Like if there's like 20 people telling me that they saw these little tiny little imp creatures jumping in at them in traffic in the middle of the night, then I'm gonna believe you. And then if you bring one up to me and just drop the body right in front of me, then obviously, like, that's undeniable proof right there.
Yeah. Yeah. That's another thing that always like concerns me, and that is can we talk about Faye?
Exercise caution when speaking of the Fae. But
Well,
yes,
the F
as
word.
long as you do
The F
as
word
long
in
as
the
you don't,
cryptid sense, not the other F word.
that too. But yes, yeah, just exercise caution when speaking of them, lest they overhear. I've only had one bad encounter with a Fae, and thankfully it went well, because I somehow managed to weasel my way out of it. Charisma gets you everywhere.
I don't know. I've kind of eaten them before, so.
Oh! Resourceful.
They don't taste the best.
Oh.
I mean, it's food. We don't want David Bowie to whisk you in a labyrinth. You know what? I'd be okay with that. It's David fucking Bowie. Are you kidding me?
No comment.
I think Azzy is thinking exactly what I'm thinking.
No comment. I refuse.
Yeah, that is exactly what I thought.
You know, there are people who consider you a cryptid.
Technically, Kitsune are cryptid.
Ah,
We're
I see.
considered evil spirits. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm good.
I think evil's pushing it, though.
I've been alive since the Ice Age and have seen a good bit of mankind, and honestly, mankind scares me more than creatures, because, let's face it, mankind is very...
Yeah.
greedy. There's a reason that a lot of kitsune, funny enough, hold on, I'm gonna type it out to you first.
Neutral at worst. I think even that's putting it lightly, Zealous. She has her tendencies, from what I've seen.
I did not do anything to that group of bodies.
I knew it. I
did not kill them.
I knew it. Wait, then who did?
I think back to Alucard and all of the sexual harassment. I'm not apologizing.
That's a Richard Nixon response.
That is a...
Sorry, excuse you.
No.
Excuse
They've got a point.
you.
They've got a point.
Definitely chaotic alignment. Yeah, the chaotic alignment is where things get a little dicey. What's he got for me? Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know what you're going. I know you're going with this.
There's a reason that a lot of kitsune, as far as I've been taught by elders who have graced the planet longer than I have, a lot of them are, when by some unexpected chance do end up passing away, that their bodies are taken back to be cremated, because there's been a lot of history noted of humans selling the blood of kitsune, yes, and even body parts, for good luck.
Like a rabbit's foot type deal. Ugh.
Like ear or a part of tail or a sealed piece of fur. And that's not... obviously, that doesn't sit right with us.
Understandable.
And you get those awful people. So the last time it was recorded was at least in 1953, when someone tried to sell an eyeball.
Ooh.
It went for $50,000.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, no. Whoever got that died the next day.
That's more than I make in a standard tavern performance. For like 3 months. Good lord. Oh, here's another one that you've probably lived to meet. You ever heard of Spring-Heeled Jack?
That sounds familiar.
He's a flying humanoid.
That fucker cheats at poker.
Does he?
Yeah.
Apparently, according to a book called Encounters with Flying Humanoids, Ken Gerard described Spring-Heel Jack as so named, quote, so named because of his apparent ability to bound effortlessly through the air. Spring-Heel Jack was greatly feared by residents of suburban London during the 1830s. A diabolical supervillain of sorts, he was usually described as being tall, thin, and cloaked in a tight-fitting oilskin suit, as well as a flowing cape. Think Batman, but scarier. Jack first gained notoriety when he began to accost solitary young women by ripping at their clothing with steely claws while he breathed noxious blue flames into their face. To this day, no one is sure of Jack's true identity, nor from where this notorious scoundrel came. End quote.
I've definitely heard of him before. I've never dealt with him myself, but I've heard a lot about him.
You say he cheats at poker.
He does. That's what everyone has told me.
That sounds about right. He was referenced in a book series that I used to enjoy in middle and high school. I think he actually was a character in that book. I remember his name was Jack, and I knew he could jump like really, really high. And he's called Spring-Heel Jack because he's able to jump with ease over high railings and walls.
Isn't that the Jack that jumped over the candlestick?
Is he? Is that the same one?
I would not be surprised.
What? Oh my gosh. I didn't even think about that.
That makes a lot more sense than I thought it was going to make, actually.
I didn't even think about that. Oh, apparently he's been cited as recently as 2012.
Oh.
1970s, the inhabitants of Attercliffe and Sheffield complained about a red-eyed figure who punched women. He was rumored to jump between rooftops and walk down the sides of walls. Dang, he's just not liking women. That's crazy. In February 2012, Scott Martin and his family were traveling in a taxi when they saw a dark figure run across the street and climb up a roadside bank in seconds near Nescott College in the Ewell Bypass in Surrey, about 12 miles out of London. That is crazy. That's gotta be the same guy.
It's definitely got to be the same guy. There's no fucking way it isn't. I'd be fucking shocked if it isn't.
Oh man, you know what? Now I gotta look up the origin of Jack Be Nimble, Jack Be Quick. Okay.
Watch it be some extremely dark Brothers Grimm shit.
Jack Be Nimble, Jack Be Quick song meaning. Alright, so okay, I'm gonna try and summarize this as best I can. Jumping candlesticks. In the 1800s, jumping candlesticks was a form of sport premonition, often at weddings or other ceremonies. If the athlete or groom could leap over a lit candle and keep the flame alight, then that meant a rich future and good luck, and perhaps good luck ahead. If one extinguished the flame, perhaps because one had too much drink, that meant bad luck ahead according to tradition. Oh. The nursery rhyme is rooted in an actual act an individual or group might partake in. Okay, the most common version of the rhyme is first recorded in 1815 and later collected in a nursery rhyme book goes, Jack be nimble, Jack be quick, Jack jump over the candlestick. The name Jack, of course, is a simple placeholder. Okay, so it's not the same guy, but it just sounds like something you would say before, you know, actually having the Jack in question do so. Either way, Jack thinks he's nimble, thinks he's quick, so he runs and leaps over the candlestick. Now, we aren't told if the candlestick is still lit in the end. In this way, the rhyme merely outlines the stakes. Okay.
What is your opinion on other fox spirits from other Asian myths? I think they're interesting.
Oh, Asian myths regarding foxes. I love the significance that they put into them.
I do too.
Asian myths are like so much better when it comes to animals, birds, fish. For example, the koi fish turning into the dragon. I heard about that, and it blew my mind. I sat there and I'm like, wait a minute. And then I think it was my roommate that told me, yeah, Magikarp and Gyarados are the same way. And I've never looked at them the same way again. Jack used to be an older term for some guy, and is the shy playing card as a J instead of a knight. So there's no two sets of K cards. Ooh. That's interesting.
That's a good point. I never thought about that one.
Yeah. You never do think about that kind of thing, do you? Something that Spring-Heeled Jack was also Jack the Ripper, but that was not the case.
Jack the Ripper was never caught, was he?
No.
Makes you... I've always read a lot of stories about Jack the Ripper, and it's genuinely an interesting story. Something about Victorian era London has been like fun to just learn about. I don't know why, but
Oh, I completely agree.
I've taken like such an interest into digging through it.
I read a book series that started with a Jack the Ripper story. Well, it was more of like their take on Jack the Ripper. It was set in the same era of it was set like right smack dab in the middle of the murders. But they added a steampunk aspect to it. And I I really like the series. It was the first book was Stalking Jack the Ripper. The second one was Hunting Prince Dracula. The third was Escaping from Houdini. And I haven't read the fourth one yet, but it's called Capturing the Devil.
I haven't read... you piqued my interest.
They're great stories. It's about a girl who wants, you know, women in this Victorian era, they aren't really allowed to pursue educations or get jobs or things like that. But she has a vested interest in her uncle's career of medical coronary. She's got a very weirdly unsettling interest in dead bodies. Which, you know, in that
I don't know if I could be a coroner.
I thought I could at one point. I used to love watching crime shows when I was a kid. And nowadays, not so much.
I don't know how to describe it. Ever since I was a kid, I've been around a lot of dead bodies. I've been through a lot of loss. And hi Spark. Welcome. But like, I've always had a thing about just something about corpses. It doesn't bug me much as an adult, but as a kid, I remember reading through Ripley's Believe It or Not and coming across like those personalized coffins.
Oh. Ugh.
That people would do, or stuff like that, and something about like funerals, coffins, stuff like that just kept me up all night as a kid. And like in the worst way, not even like in a scary way, but like as it would run through my head, like replaying.
That's
And it would I'd just never be able to sleep. And I remember that feeling. It was some cold, dark feeling that would come over me, and I just could not sleep. It's always good to see you, Spark.
I think that's in a way that's kind of a weird random aspect of death to be so afraid of. But now that you say that, and I hate to compound on your fear, but now that you say that, it's got me thinking. When you're preserving a body, you're a mortician. You're dressing the body for death. You're dressing the body for burial at least. You're touching up the wounds. You're putting makeup on the body, dressing them in the appropriate clothing, and all that. Don't you think they're like dolls?
That's a good point. Oh god, I don't like dolls, so that makes a lot of sense. I hate dolls.
Mm-hmm. They're lifelike, immobilized dolls or mannequins, depending how long the rigor mortis is set in. And now I'm unsettling myself thinking about it.
Be careful with yourself right there. It's definitely
Yay.
a weird thing. Like, I like puppets.
Marionettes make me uncomfy.
Marionettes make me uncomfortable, but puppets, like hand puppets and like that, I've always found really cool. Marionettes and porcelain dolls do nothing but make me uncomfortable. Like,
Porcelain dolls especially. I swear
Yes.
those things are living.
Oh, well, they're almost
goodness.
always vessels for
Oh my
the
goodness,
spirit
that reminds me
realm.
of like a short story that I read one time. Oh my gosh. I don't remember what it was called, but like I remember it was essentially, to summarize it, it was the spirits of murdered children that this woman was just keeping in her house. Her children. Yeah.
It is. That's very unsettling. I can understand it in a way for like a trauma or stuff. That dolls help people cope. I've seen those newborn baby dolls that some people collect because they could never have children.
No.
Yeah, no, I don't like them either. I do not like it. My aunt had some.
No
But
thanks.
I, on one end, I can see it because it's a way to cope with the trauma that you're either physically unable to have kids or something like that. But on the other hand, I do not like them, and you could not convince me to like them.
You know what I'm thinking of? I'm looking through like a cryptid encyclopedia right now. Some of these just look like dinosaurs. Like, can we really classify them as cryptids? They're just dinosaurs.
I don't think they are cryptids. They're quite literally just dinosaurs at that point.
I wonder how different the Chucky movies would be if he possessed morgue bodies and.
Do not give them ideas.
I don't like that. I don't like ghost children stories for good reason. Oh yeah, genuinely terrify me every time. Every time.
I do not. Children of the Corn.
Visceral reactions. Back on topic, have you ever heard of a Jersey Devil?
Yes. In fact, video game wise, Nair has been looking for that game for PlayStation 1 forever and finally found it, but it was like $50.
What game?
Jersey Devil, funny enough.
Oh.
A game based around, sort of loosely, cartoonishly based around it.
Have you ever seen a picture of a Jersey Devil?
Yes. It is.
They look so weird.
Yeah, no, they're fucking insane.
They've got bat wings, horse heads, hooves. Like, what are you? Oh, I'm looking at the page now. It is regarded as anatomical nonsense, zoologically.
Children of the Cornbread.
Oh. Like, how does this thing survive? Like, That's another thing I wonder when it comes to cryptids. Like, if there is only one of them, because obviously they can't live forever, how do they like populate? Is it like is it like a symbiotic relationship, or like what's going on? Like, obviously I don't want to get into the nitty gritty of it, but like, are there more of them, or
What
is
the
this just like a
fuck
freak
is
mutation?
it? Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Like, is it just a freak mutation and there's only one of them, or is there like entire like civilizations, like colonies of these things?
There probably is. I would not be surprised if there is. Can we
Mind
get
you, with
that,
Jersey
please?
Devils, there's like confirmed hoaxes, but like, what? Like, if they were real, why does this keep happening?
If it's happened more, like I said, if it's happened more than once and it's constantly happening, it's definitely more than a hoax.
There have been a couple of like confirmed, like, yeah, no, this is bad, but this is not real. It's not a thing. But if there's enough people and they can't confirm it, then it's got to be real.
There's no other.
Ooh,
There's no. Sorry. There's no other reason that it shouldn't be real.
We can't talk about those.
Talk about I am not allowed to talk about those.
Nope. We're not allowed to talk about those.
My partner is native.
I don't wanna. I don't wanna.
A lot of their family is native, so we do not talk about those.
I don't wanna test my luck. I'd rather not start hearing things outside my window. No thanks.
I'm not afraid of much myself. Mainly out of concern for my partner and their safety.
Understandable.
Like, there's also, like, the Loch Ness Monster has always been one that... The Loch Ness Monster and the Megalodon have been two that have always interested me. I know the Megalodon isn't a cryptid so much.
I was gonna say, I thought that was like a confirmed... actual, like, archaeological find.
Yeah, that's an actual giant prehistoric shark. But a lot of people still think one exists in the waters out there.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised. The sharks that we have are probably just straight up descendants of it.
Oh, 100%. You think about, like...
No, I don't, Challenger.
Oh, I already know all about them, and that's why I don't want to talk about them.
See, you've gotten intimately involved with them. I have not, and I'd like to keep it that way, thank you.
I don't know, I've fucked a lot of cryptids in my day.
I like my flesh where it is. I do not need it to be worn on somebody else. Saw Lost Tapes episode. Oh, Lost Tapes! I forgot about that.
God, I loved Lost Tapes.
It was such a good one. Some believe he escaped. Oh, Jack the Ripper. Some believe he escaped to the U.S. Didn't they catch a guy and actually put him to the rope?
I think
but
they
it was
did.
unconfirmed whether or not it was actually Jack the Ripper.
You know, it's kind of related to, like, the whole theories. Like, I'd hate to bring this up with it, but I'm pretty sure a good bit of us have always heard the theory that Hitler fled to Argentina. That was like, for those who don't know, that was a plausible theory from World War II. That he didn't. He changed his name, got a little bit, and basically immigrated to Argentina. couple of years ago, not a couple of years ago, a good few years ago, I believe in the mid to late 2010s, there was some person that was claiming that they were Adolf Hitler in Argentina, saying that they fled across. His wife was just saying, "Oh, he's just a crazy old man. Don't listen to him." But you know,
What,
it
was he
makes
intending
sense.
to cash in on some infamy in that case? If that's actually
Like he
not
tried to
true?
show stuff and like all that stuff.
Oh, it may be. I don't know. That's an odd one. I'd never heard that one before.
Yeah,
I always
allegation that
assumed
a
that he just choked on
128-year-old
lead.
man living in Argentina is Adolf Hitler.
I always assumed that he'd actually choked on lead in his bunker. Logged off in real life, so to speak.
Which is a shame because I kind of wish it would have gotten to rip him limb from limb.
I would have liked to have seen some form of divine punishment. But that's just me. I'm a sucker for the dramatics. Tis in my nature, after all. But we're not here to discuss that today. We're here to discuss beings that really should not exist.
Yeah, some of them are interesting, but like the Loch Ness Monster, I've always wanted to hope that the Loch Ness Monster is real.
Oh, locking eyes with Nessie? Oh my goodness. I think my life would be complete.
More like trying to lock lips with Nessie.
Hey! Listen, you can have the Loch Ness Monster as long as I can keep Mothman.
Man, that's tough. You can't do that to me.
Yes, I can!
No, you can't. You can't
Yes,
make
I
me trade
can.
cheeks for fucking flip. I am.
Oh, listen,
Oh
it's
my
not, it's
god,
not
I have problems.
I'm looking at that wingspan and them legs.
Nigga, the motherfuckers.
This conversation is quickly turning into the Area 51 group chats. We go from planning to storm Area 51 to talking about clapping alien cheeks.
Do you know how many people have summoned me to try to get me to fuck them?
Dang.
I didn't know chubby kitsune women were the thing. I thought people wanted the hourglass. Well, I guess I kind of have an hourglass, but I thought people wanted the curvaceous stereotype. Like, the best example, like Ari from League of Legends.
I'm just gonna drink my water quietly.
Azzy? Did you make a summoning circle?
I'm just gonna drink my water quietly.
Azzy. Azurine. Don't you? Mongolian deathworms are creepy, bone-melting projectile acid, long-range electroshock, the parad. Oh my god.
Those are not death.
That's just
no,
a
those are
fucking
deathworms.
creature.
Yeah. You ever think about how some of these skeletons that we supposedly dig up, they're mismatched on accident? So you're just making an entirely different creature that just doesn't make sense? Like, what if some of the bones that we've put to the megalodon actually belonged to, like, a pterodactyl?
That's what I think about a lot. It's kind of like how we finally discovered that, like, that a lot dinosaurs aren't as scaly as we thought they were, and they're actually a bit more feathery.
No, I refuse to believe that they're just chickens! I am so far in denial with this.
I don't. You know what always gets me though is we think about like wolves or big cats, and you look at millions of years of evolution to create this little creature that meows at you to be fed.
Yep.
Or this little creature that just looks like a football that lays on your couch.
Yeah.
Millions of years just because a wolf been like, weird monkey, give food and shelter.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much how. Like, if I've seen like tiger handlers and like big cat handlers. They're literally just babies. Big cat handlers literally just gave into the urge to pet the danger cat. And the danger cat now is like solely dependent on them.
A lot of those
Handlers
cats
of
would not
dangers.
survive in the wild.
Oh yeah.
Would not survive. But they're just the cutest thing. I don't care what people say.
are.
I know they're murdering machines, but I think about like alligators. I love alligators. Alligators are fucking cute. I'm not gonna go up and pet one, but they're cute.
They're like weird little sea puppies. Or like river puppies. Like, you toss them, like, a bone, and they will just go after it. 50-50 chance on whether or not they bring it back. If they bring it back, congrats, you have tamed an alligator. You're in Georgia, aren't you? Or you were in Georgia. Were there, like,
Yeah.
any down there?
Born and raised in Georgia, there is a lot of alligators in Georgia, especially on the coast or in the swamps.
So
I've
it's
been-
not purely a Floridian thing.
No, it's not. I've been to the Okefenokee Swamp, which is like that big swamp in coastal Georgia,
Ooh.
a couple times, and there's one area where there's literally just you're walking to the parking lot, you'll just see alligators chilling in the parking lot.
I thought that was literally just a Floridian thing for the longest time.
Zella, Snow Jackie, cute. We're not doing that.
I'm just gonna sit and drink my water quietly.
All right, you can't. All right, look.
I'm
That's
looking
okay, Azurine.
respectfully.
Tell me, have you ever made love to a demigod? Well, I didn't make love to her, but I killed her, chat.
I'm fine. No,
I heard your roommate.
I'm good. To answer your question, twice. Only one of those I don't talk about anymore. Oh, that made me dizzy. Oof. Too much blood rushed to my head.
I want to say something, but I don't know if I have the strength to say it.
Say it.
Demigod pussy got this girl fucking choking.
It was a shame about it was a shame about one of the other ones at least. All that talk about bravado and he just could not perform. Absolute. Do you understand how much ale I had to put in that fucking demigod just to get him to look at me? Ugh.
That's okay. I have
All the
lots of
effort for
experience,
what?
sweetheart.
Ooh. Ma'am, we were supposed to be discussing cryptids, not my love life.
Dire wolves. I don't know if dire wolves count as cryptids.
What really defines a cryptid, though? Because they are...
I could find the definition.
There's the textbook definition, but, like I was talking about earlier, some of these depictions of cryptids just look like straight up dinosaurs. So, can we really like follow the textbook definition of a cryptid?
That is a good point.
It's like trying to identify. It's like trying to identify a religion. Where raccoons? That could be a cryptid for all we know.
Raccoons on their own are fucking cryptids. Let's be real.
But we sight them every day. Dragons are basically just dinosaurs and they're considered cryptids. See? They're considered mythological creatures and they're considered cryptids. Like, where does the line get drawn between fiction and reality? When it comes to cryptids, at least. Well, like, obviously...
You know, that's a good point. I'm not exactly sure.
obviously,
I think there's at least a very blurred line between...
There is. And that's where a lot of these creatures kind of just nestle. From Jersey Devils to Sasquatch to Flatwoods Monster, Lizard Man's The Missing Link. Who knows? There's so much in that blurred line, that gray area between fictional and tactile. Like it's so hard to pin them down. They elude us for so long, and like we don't know where they are. We don't know where they are, what they're doing, and if they're even real. Where's the line drawn between scientific cryptid and mythological cryptid? That's another good point. Like I said, it's like trying to identify a religion. There is no correct answer. Until we are given solid proof, there literally is no correct answer.
There isn't really a correct answer.
You can take like 200 people's testimonies of the same thing. And it could either be a group hallucination, which apparently that's possible. My time running with those bandits made me think that every hallucination was different. We all got hit with a acid spitting thing.
I was about to say Azzy. Isn't that just LSD?
I don't think I could classify this as LSD because A, I've never tried LSD, and B, I don't know if LSD ends up with you like half bleeding.
I don't know. Usually when I'm half bleeding, I wake up in the Waffle House parking lot.
Oh, see, that's just because you walked into a Waffle House parking lot.
Well, it wasn't fighting. More like...
Like I said, wrong turn with a group of bandits. We ended up being confronted by an acid-spitting plant. Right in the eyes. I was hallucinating for 3 days. It didn't stop. It just didn't stop. I don't like to talk about that.
American Waffle House or overseas Waffle House? You know, the only Waffle House.
There's a difference?
There's a different Waffle House?
There's an overseas Waffle House? A Waffle House is a Waffle House as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I roll. Look, Waffle House is Waffle House for me.
What is it? Denny's parking lot? You get stabbed. Waffle House.
Waffle House, you just get jumped. You get fucked up. You are dead. You are a dead motherfucker.
And then I think I heard something about like a Red Robin parking lot or something like that. Like I don't know.
I've never heard anything about a Red Robin parking lot.
One of the other parking lots was something about like you blackout, wake up, and find that you're now in Ireland. Oh, how in the what in the Dimension Door Fey realm? Okay.
What in the fucking Blarney Stone?
I don't remember. I think it was like one parking lot was you get stabbed, another was you get jumped, and another was like that's where all the drug deals happen. I don't remember.
That's all I remember.
I only remember the Doesn't matter where it is, the fights are all the same. Ah, so true. Your kids today, this is probable. You know what? Yeah.
Look. Yeah.
I had never seen. Okay. Just, you know
Look,
what?
I've had to fight
You
people.
right.
There are times, you know, we have the ability to hide our tails and ears. Because even in this day and age, well, in this day and age, it doesn't matter. Monsters and humans live in harmony. We're all safe. I know a couple who's literally a cat girl and a warlock. But there was a time when you had to hide your features to avoid detection or to not raise questions. And it was really easy to you know, basically treat someone as like, "Oh, you're just imagining things."
Mm-hmm.
Because most of the time, what are you going to do? Tell someone you just saw someone with ears and like 9 tails?
Yeah.
They're going to think you're crazy.
Yeah, they tend to do that.
I think they'll be fine. Maybe.
You can't really tell if you're hiding them when you're blackout dry. Can you?
You got a point.
Huh. I didn't even think about that.
You can't really tell. There's not much. There's a reason, like, you know, as someone who drives cars, who does rally and track stuff, you had to learn to hide your tails, because could you imagine getting into a lot of the cars that I've personally helped build and drive on rally stages or drive on the track are smaller cars, not small, but of course you have a roll cage, you have bucket seats, and you have a harness seatbelt that you wear. Could you imagine how that is if you were to get in with I have 13 tails at full 4. Could you imagine what that's like trying to get in? The whole car is enveloped in fluff.
Dear listeners, where do those tails go? I entreat you
just
to not think
disappear.
about that too hard. Not pigeons small.
No, I'm not gonna say it. Jesus Christ.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
You know exactly what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm. I've been around you too long, my dear. I see you typing. Ma'am! Going back to the cryptid discussion, I want to read the Mothman story that I heard. Yes, this in particular, I believe, is a work of fiction. But it was my very first actual story regarding the Mothman. And at the time, 12-year-old me thought it was real. I'm just imagining Jackie doing a rally in a motorized version of that red and yellow play
Look,
school car.
I might be a short kitsune, but Jesus Christ, I would not be able to fit in there. Did you guys know they make oversized cat trees for kitsune? Because, you know, we're technically dog hardware on cat software.
I made that joke before.
We some company started making for my species started making oversized cat trees for them to put into their homes. But
oh, is that how Mocha keeps you around?
look,
Uh-huh.
those don't work on me. I am an adult.
Are you telling me that you don't have one?
No, I do not.
I feel like I'm gonna have to ask Nair or Mocha. We're coming from
I
you.
guarantee if you were to ask Nair, they would probably not say anything.
Uh-huh. Dear listeners, I think the kitsune is lying.
No.
Uh-huh. Hiding those big tails would be difficult for you. That's just a given. This is very true.
They are pretty. I mean,
I've
I
only got
want you.
one.
I want you to imagine having to dry off and fluff
Oh,
these.
good lord. Just take off like a helicopter.
I mean, I could probably try that, but that'd sound less like Tails and more like a Sea Stallion or a Chinook helicopter. You would hear
Jackie
me
has
from a
bad
mile
dream,
away.
and Nair has a doghouse.
I just buy treats for Nair.
Aw. Mocha just watching the two of you.
Nair does a lot. I don't know. That's one of my bread and butter things about animal people
Mm-hmm.
is them doing the things that their traits are.
I mean, foxes just tend to kind of just make noises. I have echolalia.
I make a lot of noises, and
I do too. I replicate a lot of noises. I'm like a soundboard. Literally, I had an entire conversation about my laundry and animalese with my roommate this morning. But yes, I would like to read a story. That's what I was doing before.
no, please go ahead, Azzy.
So this one is called Mothman Cometh. It was the very first story that I ever read. Michael was a 12-year-old boy who lived in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. He lived with a small family of 3 since his father passed away when he was 7. In his middle school, he was in the cryptozoology group. In fact, he was the leader of said group. He and his 5 friends, Ashley, Ben, Zach, Kaylee, and Joshua, would meet in the science classroom and discuss different cryptids and urban legends. Every week, they would choose another cryptid to discuss and another member to research it. They quickly flew through the list of cryptids easily, from the Ahul to the Zanzibar leopard. Eventually in December, they were at a loss of cryptids to research until one member learned of another local legend, the Mothman. He told them everything he knew about him, and one by one, this cryptid grew on them. They argued over who should study it when Michael, being the leader, announced that everybody would do this as the cryptozoology's final cryptid. He read everything he could about Mothman, and through reading the witness reports, found a possible hideout for it. Using all the group's funds, they convinced the principal to give them a field trip to the West Virginia Ordnance Works, an abandoned World War II TNT factory. The bus driver drove 7 miles away from Point Pleasant and told them to come back if anything went wrong and to stay together. 6 kids jumped off the bus and slowly walked toward the first building of the Ordnance Works. Along the way, each kid muttered to each other about how the air smelled like smoke and how freezing it was. Michael was the most excited. This is going to be amazing. He had daydreamed about walking into the enigmatic-looking building, being startled by Mothman sitting up on a perch, and discovering he was friendly and riding him far away on the breeze. He smiled at the thought, but was interrupted when he saw he was at the door. He nearly squealed with excitement as he opened it, held it for his friends to come through. They crept through the doorway, with their shoes making a dragging sound against the dirty vinyl floor, and came to a stop once they were all inside. Michael let go of the door and walked forward in silence. Everybody jumped when the door made a loud echoing slam that seemed to echo for hours. The building was dirty inside, with brick walls, broken machines here and there, one shattered window, which was the only source of light in the dimly lit building. They stood there in silence for a second before Michael broke the silence by taking a step forward. He looked back at his friends, and they followed his lead and came forward. They walked through the large main room, dragging their feet as they walked. Ashley glanced out the window, saw what looked like a raven or a crow caw, and then fly away. She sighed, letting out a cloud of warm air from her mouth, and looked ahead. Michael opened a door for them to go through, atop a rusty set of stairs, though Joshua insisted they go through another door just underneath it. Ashley insisted yet another door. Zach, fed up with the bickering, suggested that they split up into groups. Zach went with Joshua, Ashley with Ben, and Michael went with Kaylee. They agreed to meet at the bus if anything went wrong. Michael grabbed the flashlight out of his backpack and turned it on. He nervously smiled at Kaylee and continued on through the door. He opened it and closed it as he entered, which again made another echoing slam. They crept down the hallway, which was pitch black aside from the flashlight. It felt uneasy. They couldn't see anything 4 feet away from them. "How you holding up, Kaylee?" he asked to lighten up the mood a bit. "Fine, but something's off." "What do you mean?" "I mean..." She was cut off by the sound of the door slamming. They quickly spun around and heard slow, scraping steps coming closer. They stared in horror and silence as the steps became louder and louder. 2 dim red lights appeared down the hall. Kaylee wanted to ask what they were, but her throat seemed to swell shut. The lights grew brighter and bigger as the footsteps came closer. Michael felt a chill run down his spine and he stepped backward nervously. There was one last step, and then they stopped. The 2 huge red lights seemed to glow. Michael's arm twitched as he slowly raised the flashlight to the lights. It shone to reveal a humanoid creature with glossy feathers. Its feet were scaly and green, with long black talons that seemed to dig into the ground. Its shoulders were about 1 foot taller than its head and were tipped with long black wings. And its head seemed to be pushed down into its chest, and it had 2 huge red eyes as big as dinner plates with no pupils, and no light, yet they still seemed to glow. Its mouth appeared to either be missing or covered by feathers. The 2 children stared at the creature, too scared to move. It stood there, motionless and expressionless. Michael attempted to whisper, "Run," to Kaylee, but all that came out was a loud squeak. Upon hearing this, the creature's eyes seemed to become even brighter, and it let out a horrible, otherworldly screeching noise, which reminded Michael of a mix of a scream from a horror movie and an ambulance's siren. It unfolded its wings and charged at them. Michael screamed at Kaylee to run, grabbed her hand and tried to move, but Kaylee wouldn't budge. Her face was stuck in an expression of sheer terror, and she was staring the creature in the eyes. Michael tugged and tugged on her arm, but she just wouldn't budge. The creature was practically on top of them, so Michael sighed and let go. He ran down the hall, gasping for breath. He heard a short scream, lasting only a second, and then nothing. The creature's eyes shone through the darkness and turned towards him. He screamed, sprinted down the hall. Thoughts raced in his head about what might happen. He was caught, and how he would escape. He looked around desperately for an exit or a hiding place, but to no avail. He glanced behind it, saw that the creature was gaining on him, and fast. He felt his stomach turn, sweat rolled down his face. He turned forward again and tried running faster. As he ran, he saw a door on the other side of the hallway. Michael gasped and ran ahead. He stopped quickly at it. It was locked. He looked to his left, saw the eyes were getting closer and closer. He frantically turned the knob back and forth. Click, the door opened. He ran inside, left the door slightly ajar. He backed away behind a table in the room and prayed it wouldn't find him. He heard the scraping footsteps again. He heard them slow. He held his hand over his mouth so it couldn't hear him. Michael was so terrified, tears rolled down his face. Through the blur of his vision, he saw there was a hand mirror in the room. So he held it up to see behind him, so he didn't have to move. There it was. He yelped, turned around to see its red eyes gazing down on him. He screamed, "No!" as the silent creature leapt over the table, right at him. Afterwards, when it was time to leave, Zach, Ben, Josh, and Ashley met outside in the snow and asked if they'd seen Michael or Kaylee. Nobody had, so they waited for a while before puffing out clouds of warm air kicked their feet up off the ground. They were interrupted by a sudden ominous screech. They turned to look at the building. The creature flew out of the shattered window. As it flew, it twitched and writhed, fell and rose. It flew as if it were broken. Directly over the kids and over their heads, something fell off it as it flew by, and it landed on Ashley's hand. It was a drop of blood. It flew up into the sky and hasn't been seen since.
That was fantastic.
classic case of intruding on territory that you should not be going into.
This is why you respect things.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Like,
A lot of
holy
people say that
shit.
he still lives near the Golden Gate Bridge right now.
It probably does. I wouldn't be surprised if he does or not. Especially because, like, he's probably got a lot to see. Mothman's on his vacation arc.
Mothman's on his vacation arc. I can't.
I mean, if you could fly anywhere, wouldn't you?
Oh, you know what? You are so right. There are so many places I would go if I just had wings. Wouldn't you have to like? Ah, you know what? I feel like if you had wings, you would still have to like pay some kind of like airfare type deal.
What the fuck?
License
I'm not
to
about to
fly.
register my ass as a small aircraft.
Mothman with a little Mickey Mouse ear hat.
He's at Disney World.
Yeah, Disney World. No, we can't talk about that because then the mouse will come and get us.
He won't come and get you. Oh, the mouse. Okay.
Huh?
The mouse.
Who are you talking? Who are you talking about?
I was talking about Mothman. I'm like, no, he won't come and
no.
get us. And I'm like, then it clicked with
I
me that
hope
you said
he
the
would.
mouse, and I'm like,
I mean, what?
I mean, nah, I'm clapping his cheeks.
What, the mouse or the Mothman?
Yeah. Oh, we'll find out.
Huh? What?
God give me strength.
Okay.
Hey, what's going
Hey,
on? Hi, welcome, True. I'm talking about which cryptids I want to fuck.
Minnie,
Minnie, I have some bad news.
Oh no.
What's the one thing, like, have you seen the Schlatt thing where he's watching, like, the fucking dog animation? He's like, I'm fucking the dog.
No?
I think I can play this here.
Oh my golly, okay.
I can play a clip of it.
I'm fucking the dog. I'm fucking the dog.
Oh my god. Okay. That was the thing that I just heard.
Reverse a Goofy and court meme. Oh no.
I'll fucking do it again.
I'll fucking do it again.
Goofy, you killed 27 children.
Guilty.
Guilty. Oh lord. You think cryptids are limited to animals, or do you think plants are a part of it too?
I'd say plants would be a part of that.
Like, wouldn't it? But when you think about it, like cryptids, the biggest part about cryptids is like they're rarely seen. If we tried to put plants in there, they would just be classified as an endangered species more than a cryptid. Unless there's some different aspect of it that I'm not thinking of.
I didn't think about that, yeah.
Unless, like, the plant itself is able to, like, move on its own, then, like, maybe, but, like, I don't know. That's where the theories
She is
start
fucking
coming in.
Goofy? Oh, okay.
Oh
Good.
yeah, no, I heard that joke from a old friend of mine. I say old because he's like actually pushing 50. I guess what I mean is like, you know, like piranha plants type deal, level of cryptid, because like they can move and hide themselves, but and then just like show up somewhere else. But like a tree can't just sprout legs and walk. Unless it could, and in which case I'm wrong.
I don't think trees can do that unless it's the average Virginia resident.
Mm.
Last time I
That's
checked,
very
they're
specific.
trees. They're all trees.
That's very specific.
I can promise you, they're all trees.
That makes that wait. Why Virginia specifically?
That's a good question. I didn't think that far. Virginia is well, the Appalachians in general are a strange state.
Counterpoint trees not moving with the migrating mulberry tree from Camp Laszlo. Ooh, what's that? Ooh.
That is a good point. Yeah, the fucking
Migrating mulberry tree.
It was a tree from Camp, the cartoon Camp Laszlo.
Oh, it's a fictional tree.
Yeah.
Literally migrates from place to place. It arrives at Camp Kidney and Tree Hugger. Both Lumpus and Laszlo are enraptured, and they've finally seen it. Trick Lumpus into marrying the tree. Oh, okay. This looks interesting.
It is a time.
Okay. I'm looking at the screenshot for this, and all I have to say is what? Because this is all I'm seeing.
This show is fucking weird.
Oh my goodness. It was a weird show, the good kind of weird. Is it like fever dream levels of weird? Because that feels like a fever dream.
Yeah.
Oh. One that I just found out of the blue. The Blackbird of Chernobyl. Apparently, in '86, people in and around the Chernobyl nuclear power plant, they started seeing what was described as a large, dark, and mutated man with gigantic wings and red eyes. It was specifically around the Chernobyl nuclear power plant, though, and it's not Mothman. They started calling it the Blackbird of Chernobyl.
I don't know if I
Because
would
this is
want to go
over
near
by
that one.
yeah, this is over by Ukraine, Soviet Union, Pripyat, and in parts of Scandinavia in the UK too. Woke eyes cryptids spotted yet again. Stop. But yeah, it was shortly after the disaster. Workers who survived the initial blast and fire but would later die of radiation poisoning claimed to have witnessed what had been described as a large black bird-like creature with a 20-foot wingspan gliding through the swirling plumes of irradiated smoke pouring from the reactor.
Oh my goodness.
I have
You know, that whole area. No, you go ahead, Azzy.
Oh no, I'm curious to hear what you have to say.
I was gonna say, considering the event and what is leaked around the area, I would not be surprised if there are a good bit of cryptids there.
Yatagarasu? Ooh. 8-span crow. It's a three-legged. That's a three-legged crow. That one's supposedly a divine messenger and guide. It's associated with guidance, transformation, and hope. I don't think that would describe the Blackbird of Chernobyl. My theory is Angel of Death.
Yeah. Can we talk about how Blackbird of Chernobyl would also be a kick-ass metal band name?
Oh, you know what? Yeah. I didn't even think about that. No, you're kind of right, though. And if you've seen the visuals for it, straight up album cover.
I know what I must do.
Like, I'm looking at this right now. Look at this. Tell me this is not just an album cover.
That is straight up an album cover. You cannot
Right?
convince me otherwise. That is an album cover.
Oh, yeah.
Is Big
Big Bird's emo cousin. The physical description of both Blackbird of Chernobyl and the Mothman are very similar, but because of how far apart these incidents are, I don't think it's the same entity. A second, less accepted theory suggests that the Blackbird of Chernobyl was nothing more than the misidentification of the black stork, an endangered species endemic to southern Eurasia. That doesn't account for the 20-foot wingspan, but then again, they say misidentification, so maybe. Convergent cryptid evolution. Ooh, what if they are the same?
I wouldn't be surprised if they are the same.
They haven't been sighted since their respective disasters, so this just brings me back to my Angel of Death theory.
Fucking angel, the angel of death.
It sucks that we don't have more than, like, when it comes to cryptids at least, we don't have more than just, like, blurred photographs or old sketches.
I wish there was more.
If I was more of a thrill seeker, I'd be tempted to seek these places out myself, but I don't want to get murdered.
We'll be fine.
I haven't heard of any crab cryptids. Me neither, actually, now that you say that.
I mean, don't we have one? His name is Spy Crab.
Is he a cryptid, though? He's an alien. That's different.
There's a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
I think besides you, the only one that I would really call a cryptid would be GK.
GK is 100% a cryptid.
Oh, yeah. Her tail ate my last muffin.
That tail ain't fake.
It is real. And
Anyone
it is
who
alive.
thinks that tail isn't real is absolutely wrong.
It's real, it's alive, and it ate my last muffin. I was saving that one. It was poppy seed.
So you get it.
Part Jurassic. Oh. But yes, because of that, GK is absolutely a cryptid.
I'm just an eldritch horror. When you consider
Then why are you so pretty?
I do not wish to be pretty.
Well, you are, so
I am not.
listeners,
No, you can't just turn. No.
listeners, you know what you must do. Immediately.
Literally everyone says otherwise. No!
Zelos is speaking truth.
God give me strength. Lower my microphone so I can see the chat. Do we need to get Mocha? Mocha's busy right now. Like, legitimate. That's not me just being dismissive.
Yeah. I wish I had that book with me now that I'm talking about this. I wish I had that book. I should have gotten that book again. Oh my goodness!
Yeah?
Oh, I forgot about this one. The Donkey Lady of San Antonio.
Oh my god, yes, I've heard about this one.
This was such a good one.
Donkey
I'm trying to find
Lady
a
of San
visual Donkey
Antonio.
Lady. Is she one of those fabled horse girls I've heard so much about? No, there's more to it than that. Yeah, she's got an entire bridge named after her. Literally called the Donkey Lady Bridge. Says potentially one of the most unsettling things about the Donkey Lady and her bridge is that there's so many origin stories for this story. One story claims that the Donkey Lady was part of a farming family who lived outside San Antonio that met a terrible fate. In this iteration, her husband, the farmer, set fire to their home and their family, leaving her horribly disfigured and grieving. Different iterations claim that she's been around since the 1950s, while others say she's been haunting the area since the 1800s. But the same conclusion is that the Donkey Lady haunts the area out of pain, grief, and restlessness. Much like La Llorona.
I never really thought about that. Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's another one of those bridges you gotta be careful on.
Yeah. I think this one's kind of like... This one's kind of in the same vein as La Llorona and the Goat Man. It's kind of like a bridge between the bridge between the two. I'm funny, I swear.
You fucking priest.
Oh, and apparently you can summon her? Oh no.
I would rather not.
It's said that if you drive to the Donkey Lady Bridge and honk your horn while shouting for her, you'll be able to summon the being that has haunted the area for decades. If you're particularly brave, ghost hunters and thrill seekers will often honk or yell before exploring the area in search of the entity.
I feel like that's just asking for trouble at that point.
That's like summoning Fae. Don't do it.
Do not do it. It's not even worth it.
It's really not. It is so not worth doing that.
Why would you want to summon Fae?
Foolishness. Or desperation.
I don't want to summon any of those fuckers. I have dealt with enough.
Oh, big yawn. Hi, Lux. Welcome in, my dear.
I think I'm with you, Azzy, when it comes to aquatic cryptids. Just really interest me.
I've always had an interest in anything dealing with water. Pirates, mermaids, water-based cryptids. I don't know what it is about the ocean and just the ocean or large bodies of water in particular, I have a weird draw to them.
There's an interest about them. They're comfortable.
It's super weird. I'm not entirely sure what it is, but it really is a good source for cryptid lore. And we can only go down so far before the water pressure just will kill us. So we don't know what's down there. We don't know what's at the bottom. We can't get down that far.
We have more of space explored than we do the oceans.
Yep. Which kind of makes you wonder. There could be things that have been buried down there that could bridge gaps between civilizations.
Water ocean
More-
is such an amazing source for cryptid lore because there's genuinely so much that we as humanity don't know about. Like anything could be down there. Yeah. Well, the Titanic is its own story.
Which one? I'm going to hell.
I said Titanic, not Titan.
Oh, okay, there's the difference.
That's the real difference.
Ugh, your yawning's rubbing off on me. Stop that, Missy.
Outside of that, I don't think there is much of a difference.
No, that's true.
This is another thing I think about is a lot of ships that exist at the bottom of the ocean.
Hmm.
Like you, not even just Titanic, but like all the ships that you could think that them themselves could have lores of cryptids hiding in them
Right.
at several tens of thousands of feet.
And they're just lost to simply lack of human ingenuity. Because we simply cannot get down that far. And until we can, there's no telling what we could find. We're still pulling stuff out of the that we admittedly should not be pulling out of the ocean. I remember hearing about a coffin or like a sarcophagus that somebody had pulled.
Nah, you put that shit back right now.
That's what I said.
You put that shit back. Do not fuck with anything else.
That is oh god, Dio. That's the quickest way to unlock some sort of pharaoh's curse. We don't touch the sarcophagi.
There's a reason that stuff is down there.
These creatures could have been around for millennia and could still be alive today because so much of that area has been untouched by the passage of time. And if that's the case, then first of all, that's some clear ass water. If it's that untouched. Surviving trilobites.
I would love that. I like trilobites. They're kind of cute. I don't
Could
know.
be
I
one
like
because-
someone who loves crustaceans, so.
Understandable. I don't know, like, when it comes to land-based stuff, I tend to verge more onto the fantastical. Such as, fae and nymphs and sprites. Things like that. I used to go looking for fairy gates when I was a kid. That was a
there's
terrible
definitely
idea, and
some.
I'm surprised that I didn't get swept away by an obvious fae trap. But no, I used to go looking for fairy gates. There was one place that I used to live in that we had 40 acres of just forested area surrounding us. I was lucky to explore like 2 of them because I was always afraid to go too far and that I would get lost. That and most of the area was kind of blocked off by a pretty wide creek. But I remember there was one section that was always lit up so beautifully. The trees were just dense enough to where the sun wasn't unbearable, and there was like the perfect amount of lighting. But there was this tree branch that was, it looked like it was growing downward, and it made this perfect arch. I was convinced it was a fairy gate. I'd stepped through that thing a million times. Nothing ever happened, to my knowledge. But if something did, I don't know. Like, I was convinced it was a fairy gate, and I was convinced that something made it big enough for me to walk through.
That
12 to 14-year-old me
I
still believes in
definitely
fairies.
You know, I believe that might actually have been a fairy gate.
I'm 24 years old and I still believe in fairies.
I believe in fairies. I turned 30 in literally 4 days, and I believe in
Happy early
fairies.
birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Terabithia. Oh my gosh, I forgot about Terabithia.
Fucking Bridge to I haven't heard that in a long time.
Oh my gosh, we're both old.
I don't want to be old anymore. Well, no, I do. I don't mind it, but fuck.
The absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. Oh, that's true. That is very true. Maybe something did happen and I just haven't like focused on it. Maybe it wasn't a short-term thing. Maybe I should go back. That's a thought. Maybe I should go back.
I'd go back.
I would too. I want to see if it's still there now that I'm thinking. Oh man, now I want to go back there because now I'm thinking of what. I wonder if it's still there. If it is, I'd take a picture of it and I would show everybody. Like, yeah, no, this is the fairy gate that I used to walk through. If I did, if it is in fact like, you know, they made it big enough for me to walk through because some little sprite overheard that, you know, I'm talking about fairies as I'm walking through the middle of a forest. They're sitting there like, no, wouldn't it be really funny if we just put this like right there? Wouldn't it be really funny? Let her think we're real. Grew up around Kokiri Forest. I kind of did. I think the funniest thing that I'd seen regarding like fae traps and stuff. I remember a video that somebody had posted. I don't remember where it was, but it was a. I kid you not. It was like one of those like cafe to go cups, standing in the middle of a pathway, and this one person's just like, "I'm gonna go touch it." And the person holding the camera's like, "No, you're gonna get kidnapped." It has been dubbed the most obvious fae trap.
We're not ancient animals and cryptids were not fossilized, so there's no telling what may still be alive and what animals are related to. There's definitely a lot of animals that were considered extinct that I believe are probably out there, and staying as far away from humans as possible.
For good reason, most Most likely. Not to get into the heavier topics, but with how much resources have been exploited on the planet, I would not be surprised if there were a bunch of either very endangered or supposedly extinct species that are just hiding from us at this point.
And I can't say I blame them.
Mm-mm. We have a tendency to just... we as humans have a tendency to just not really care. And that bothers me. It bothers me a lot. I don't like it. And honestly, I'd explain probably the most dangerous of which probably living in Australia. Oh, the only continent I will never visit is Australia.
I want to go to Australia.
No, why would you do that to yourself?
I think Australia is a pretty cool country.
Have you seen the size of their spiders?
I've seen bigger. I lived in the South.
Nightmare.
I live in the South.
Australia is literally the place I have nightmares about. I still look up toward my curtain in paranoia because one time I saw a spider that was really big on my curtain and it scared the heck out of me because my curtain is literally less than 5 feet away from me. Something just moved across my damn screen and I thought it was a spider. Arachnophobia, guys.
Oh yeah, Lux is from Australia. Says Australia is only bad if you're aggressively living. She's got a point. Australia does look like a pretty place to visit, and there's a lot that I would love to check out.
Zelos, I would rather scratch my skin off with a paring knife. No, thank you. The mythical and cryptid has fascinated me on occasion, but only when it concerns free walking, realm walking, or dimension hopping. Oh man. Dimension hopping sounds so fun. Dimension hopping sounds like
I can't wait to
extremely
cover glitches in the Matrix and time splits and time traveling with you. That needs to be the next fucking...
Oh, time travel?
Yes.
What?
Armor-piercing spider. I think I hope he means a gun.
Please tell me that's what you mean. Oh, my arachnophobia cannot. Ugh. Do you use a paring knife when trying to find a prom date? What? No, I didn't have a prom date. My nickname for the Newcastle Big Boy. Is that what the armor-piercing spider? Oh, no thanks. Use a paring knife when you... Oh, I see what you... No. Because again, I didn't have a prom date. I didn't even want to go to prom, but that's a story for a completely new time.
Like, I've seen some pretty heinous creatures in the South. I have seen some shit in the South. We have a lot of weird-ass bugs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I am fortunate that during my time in Alabama a couple years ago, I didn't run into any. I still feel so fortunate about that fact.
That's okay. I didn't want to go to my own graduation, but my mom made me walk for high school, and I could care less. I didn't go to prom, but I'm kind of glad I didn't, considering how my partner, my girlfriend at the time, reacted when I told her I was unable to go. Uh, that was interesting because literally we were started trying to make plans for prom, but then it had turned around and I had to explain to her and say like, I can't go. My parents are dragging me out of town that week, and ended up she's like, oh damn. And then she shows around and she says the exact same, hey, so since he can't go, do you want to go with me?
What?
And I was like, oh, okay.
That feels so bad. That makes you feel like a second choice.
Yeah, I don't understand why.
No one even asked me.
Oh yeah, Daddy Longlegs. Yeah, they're not exactly spiders if I remember correctly. They're like
They're not classified as spiders, but they still got the 8 fucking legs. That's the 6 legs too many. Sorry, I guess I mean 4 legs too many. Anything on 4 legs is okay.
like I can get it. Bugs are not anyone's favorite. As much as I like to study them and stuff, I find them cool. There's a lot that I don't want within a 500-mile radius of me.
My roommate has what he calls a healthy respect for bees. However, he is afraid of them.
There's one cryptid I think about a lot, the one that's been seen in it's been seen in Florida a lot, and that is the skunk ape, which just seems like a very Florida cryptid.
That that sounds like something you would see straight out of Florida, yeah. The skunk ape?
The skunk ape. I'm not messing with you.
I've never heard of that. I've never heard of that. I'm looking it up right now.
I will be right back, chat. I'm gonna go grab my water bottle.
Mm-hmm. There's a research headquarters on this thing? Oh my lord. I'm a cryptid sometimes. Yes, Jackie has mentioned that. Oh, and apparently there's a similar one to this. It's called the Honey Island Swamp Monster. Yeah, there is a skunk ape research headquarters. Oh my lord, there is an entire building on this. That is insane. I wouldn't really call this a headquarters, more like a gift shop tourist trap, but like they've got like actual it kind of looks like an animal sanctuary at the same time. I'm seeing like gators and snakes and interesting. So it's like an animal sanctuary type deal. Florida man's pretty much cryptid. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's literally just an animal exhibit. Okay. They have one of the largest snakes held in captivity. Goldie, a reticulated python, 24 feet long. 400 pounds! Whoa! They've got, yeah, it's literally just an animal sanctuary and a tourist trap. A tourist trap in the Everglades. Huh. Who'd have thunk it? Very big danger noodle, yes! But apparently they've got fishing over there, so if you guys want a fishing spot when you're down in the Florida area. Huh. They got a whole apparel lines and everything. This is crazy! But yeah, apparently the skunk ape is like super similar to to the Washington Bigfoot, but it is most commonly associated with the Everglades and swamplands in Florida instead of the forests in Washington. Similar in size and appearance to Bigfoot. I can't really find the difference though. Supposedly it's got its own unique characteristics and legends though, so I haven't... Apparently it smells like a skunk, hence the moniker. Stories go back to 1818. Spoke of a man-sized monkey raiding food stores and stalking fishermen.
I'm back.
Huh.
Put on this.
Oh, I'm reading up on the history and sightings of the swamp the skunk ape.
Isn't it a weird fucking thing?
It's so weird. And apparently there's like an entire like research center that's literally just like an animal sanctuary / tourist trap.
That's very Florida.
Yeah. But it's got fishing. And camping too. Uh 1929, an alleged sighting occurred at the famous and then recently constructed Perky Bat Tower at the Florida Keys. Sugarloaf Key Bat Tower. Okay. Witnesses reported an unknown ape-like creature was drawn to the construction site. After investigating, shortly after it had been stocked with bats, the creature shook the tower, driving off the bats before running into the woods. Huh. In 1942, reported a similar creature rushing out from the brush line while he was driving down an isolated road. It was alleged to have grabbed onto his vehicle and beat on the running board and door for half a mile before departing. Wow. In the 1940s, number of alleged sightings. 60s, over in Alachua County and Marion County. One such report from 63 involves several members of a family encountering an ape-like creature around their rural home, including one instance of it approaching the window to peer inside. What? This is so nuts. And it's specifically the Everglades.
The Everglades are an interesting part of Florida. It's Florida's very own Amazon rainforest.
Yeah.
And
And apparently it's similar. There's a similar thing called the Honey Island Swamp Monster, also known as the Cajun Sasquatch. This one's specifically Louisiana folklore. It's also known as the Louisiana Wookiee and the Thing.
Louisiana Wookiee.
Supposedly the same creature. Except apparently this alleged plaster casts of footprints show 4 toes, not 5. I don't know if the other plasters did the same thing, but
I would not be surprised, actually.
it's so hard to tell some of these apart. They could be the same creature. That's another thing that I'm noticing in some of these legends. Like, some of them are so similar that they could be the exact same.
Like the Yeti and Bigfoot.
Exactly.
I'd believe that the Yeti is real, because there's got to be something out in the snowy mountains.
Oh, there's absolutely something out there at peaks that we can't
Himalayas.
reach, because much like how we can't go super far deep into the ocean, we can't go super high up in some of the mountain peaks that we have, because the air pressure is so low it would kill us. We would just die.
They say we have a Yeti scalp on display
Oh, where at?
at Kumjong Monastery. What is alleged to be a Yeti scalp found in color with dim light, fox red in sunlight, and dark brown in dim light.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay. Centuries old abominable snowman. Carried by Sir Edmund Hillary. Huh. It still hasn't been proven. And this was brought in. This is a 300-year-old alleged scalp. And it still hasn't been proven. That's crazy.
Happy full moon night from Michigan. Hello, Matt. Welcome.
Hello, Matt. Thank you for joining us today. Oh, it is almost midnight here. This one might have to be a short one. We did start kind of late.
Yeah, that was my bad.
No, that's entirely fine. You were just getting back from Georgia, and I wanted to give you time after your flight to kind of just not
Next time, I gotta learn like not to
immediately.
just fucking be like, oh, the desk will take. I gotta Nair found while I was in Georgia. Nair found an L-shaped desk for
Oh, I have one of
only
those.
$40 at Goodwill.
Oh, nice.
So I was like, nope, please get it.
That is a Goodwill steal.
Hold on, I'll send you a picture real quick, so you can see what it looks like. I wish I could send it to chat, but there we go.
Let me take a look at this. Ooh. Oh, that's a good amount of space, too. That is a good sized one.
Now, Azzy, you need to make a logo so I can have it as a sticker and put it on my computer.
I do. I just can't afford to pay an artist right now. I'm still
I'll do
on the
it for
struggle
free.
bus when it comes to money.
I'd do
But
it
make
for
a
free.
logo?
Yeah.
Ma'am, I'm not going to ask you to do that for free.
The good thing you're not asking, I'm doing it.
Miss Ma'am!
Yes.
You don't have to do that. That's not fair.
Well, you're my friend, and I care about you, and I don't see a problem with me just sketching up some concepts to see what you like better.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna do it regardless if you deny it or not.
Honestly, I have been looking. Because of, and I'll kind of just drop this little tidbit. Because of a re-debut coming up, I've been meaning to rebrand anyway. I haven't been able to find any artists that I was interested in for logo design, so yeah, I can't really. What is that? That yoinky splanky. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to round this one out because it is getting kind of late.
Yeah, it is pretty late. It's like 1 in the morning here, and I gotta go to work tomorrow.
But to kind of round this off, cryptids. Cryptids are mythological creatures. How I'm classifying them, they're mythological creatures with with a higher degree of truth.
I feel like a lot of them are misunderstood. There's a reason, and I still stand by that. Like I said earlier, there's a reason that a lot of these cryptids don't want to be seen. Like, I totally get it. You get all
Most of
these
these
humans
sightings are
and
probably
stuff
just
that act
warnings.
like it's like, oh, we want to see it. Like, no, leave them the fuck alone. I'm pretty sure
Again,
there are
most of these
some that
sightings are probably
want
just
to be seen.
warnings. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like you said, like warnings. They definitely want to be seen.
Some might actually want to be seen as a more of a curiosity thing. Some maybe want to be seen as a warning, like, hey, stay back, fuck off. I don't want to be perceived.
And some people have to consider that. You can't just don't bug them. Don't make it worse with them. Let
them live the same way that we do.
Exactly.
If they want to be seen and they want to show themselves, then great.
And if not,
but don't bombard them. Like, that's not. Like, how would you like it if some weird looking thing just keeps trying to invade your home? Like, think about that. It's like with aliens. Just leave them alone. If they want to make contact, they'll make contact.
some people don't get that. Like,
A lot of people don't.
I know some aliens probably do want to make contact with us, but I mean, make contact with
They're
humans.
probably
But
just as
have
curious
you
as we
seen
are.
what we do?
Yeah. There are probably plenty of things out there that are just as curious as we are. aliens, cryptids, supposedly mythological creatures, they're probably just as curious as we are about what the other is. How they live, how they function, how their society works as a whole.
Do you think aliens come up with theories about us just like we do with them?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Probably come up with like
them,
human sightings.
to them, we're just as we're just as lost.
Humans are basically space orcs. Yeah, they are.
Oh yeah.
Humans
yeah,
are very
that's right.
fascinating creatures.
To a fault. We're curious to a fault, is what I believe.
We are. Curious George the Cryptid.
Yeah. That's kind of all I had to say to round that out. As nice as it would be to actually catch my own cryptid sighting, I'm not gonna actively go out searching for it because I don't know if that one's if that's just gonna be one sighting too many, and they just start killing.
Yeah, that shit is what worries me. I would not want to go out there. Aliens probably have their own version of the Sasquatch picture. They probably do. Alright, let's be honest. I would be afraid too.
Me too.
I cannot blame aliens for wanting to hide from humans.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm pretty sure a lot of them out there are peaceful. They don't...
There probably are a few. Unfortunately, 80% of mankind is not.
Unfortunately.
One day we'll figure it out.
One thing is you learn as a child who grew up partially in the mountains is don't go fucking digging for things. You might bite off more than you can chew.
You might find a weird sarcophagus and accidentally open it.
Do not open it.
Do not.
Didn't you say they found that shit in the ocean?
They found something they found a couple of things in the ocean. I think one was like a urn, and then another was just like a straight up coffin.
I think none of those you should open because they're probably, granted they probably fell off of like a ship or in a sunk in a ship, but probably don't want to open those for like any other reason.
Side note, completely unrelated, and this is all I'm going to say about that because I feel like this could be a fun topic for next time. I feel like it'd be super fun to go diving around a shipwreck. Like an actual like pirate ship. I'd seen like the visual, like the movie visuals of like pirate ships underwater and how they're all like barren and all the sails are like withered away and all that's left is the bare bones skeleton of the actual ship itself. Maybe a skeleton or two here and there. The scaffolding is all shot to hell. There's cannonballs left behind. But like, I want to see one for myself. I want to go diving and see one for myself. That's a bucket list item. But anyway, that could be a potential topic for another time.
That'd be a really good topic. The topic about shipwrecks in general would be an excellent topic.
Oh, yes. And it's not just relegated to, like, pirate ships. We could discuss
not just pirate ships. I have a lot of things that I can talk about with shipwrecks as being a warship aficionado myself.
But with that, horror fans, it is getting late.
And unfortunately, we must head to bed. But thank you all so much for tuning in to our late night one. And I can't wait to do the next one. These are always a blast to do with AzurineFoxglove. And make sure her Twitch is down in the description. Please do go check her out. Go give her a follow. Go support her. She's one of my bestest friends, and she deserves all the good things.
Jackie has been an absolute blast as a co-host, and I am very excited for the next full moon. I look forward to it every single month.
Finding out that it was the day I got back like made me so excited. Like I could start thinking about it. I'm like, oh man, I cannot wait.
I'm so glad to hear that this excites you so much. I get excited about these too because I love talking about this and finding out that she was a horror fan too. I was over the moon.
Horror. I live and breathe horror. Horror just has always interested me, and just getting to actually discuss it and stuff on stream, it's just really really nice.
It really is. That being said, we will see you next full moon.
Absolutely, and just remember, everyone, beware. You don't know what might be lurking.